This system of caves contains a small temple and a staircase lined with Buddhist symbols and shrines. Close-knit agricultural communities are common, wherein racial and ethnic mixing has occurred throughout history. People in this area trace their roots to Austroasiatic and Khmer racial groups, the latter of which possess genetic relations to the Mons from Thailand and Burma. The primary ethnic group and language spoken here are Khmer. Over 10 other locally spoken languages include Mandarin and Cham. Theravada Buddhism pervades every aspect of ethnic Khmer identity among Kampot's local community, which is held together by religious events. Locals display a cultural pattern of constant respect for Phnom Sorcia's natural cave system, regarding it as a holy place of worship and tradition and retreat. Local Buddhist devotees have integrated nearby physical geographic features with their religion, rather than destroying them in order to build artificial structures, as is practiced among industrialized societies. Extreme poverty and famine are widespread, exacerbated by government oppression and colonialism, conditioning the people of Phnom Sorcia to be mindful and respectful of the natural resources that are available. Though it is often dark, wet, and abundant with wildlife, locals honor the caves by practicing their religion here. A strong connection with nature, due to relative absence of industrialization, is the cause of the local cultural pattern of paying respects to the site of Phnom Sorcia. Killing caves of Phnom Sompo. Also set in a system of caves, this cultural pattern which takes place at Phnom Sompo and its causes are distinctive. Phnom Sompo is a renowned cultural site set in a mountain cave, which has been converted into a Buddhist sanctuary. Here in Battambang's rural outskirts, the most prominent religion is Theravada Buddhism. In primary ethnic group and language spoken around Phnom Sompo are Khmer. Racially, people in this area also define themselves as Khmer. Lining the site are pagodas, shrines, and statues and images of Buddha. Alongside, massive collections of human bones and artwork memorialize a mass genocide in the region perpetrated by a violent communist regime called the Khmer Rouge during the 1970s, when 1.5 million people were killed, leaving a wake of civil wars. Through the genocide, many ethnic groups, the regime limited racial diversity among the new generations. As cultural pattern among the locals is desperate intergenerational pursuit of peace in the face of political and social instability. Phnom Sompo's display of gruesome art statements side by side with peaceful Buddhas is the method through which the people of Kampot pay their respects to loved ones who were killed in the caves during the genocide. Theravada Buddhism is a religion of peace, and survivors, the Khmer Rouge and their children, created this memorial as a sanctuary for peace in place of the killing caves. These circumstances gave rise to the cultural patterns of local community, whose members repeat this tradition in quest of tranquility. Wapra Ratanasastradam. The 600-year-old temple was erected for King Rama I to house the sacred idol of the Emerald Buddha. The Wat represents Thai independence and the history of the local people. Though 21 other languages are spoken in Thailand, the Bangkok dialect of Siamese Thai is primarily spoken near this Wat. Siamese Thai is derived from Lao, the Burmese Shan language, and languages from southern Vietnam and China. People in this region trace their cultural roots to the Hmong, Chinese, and Mongols, in addition to Indian and European racial groups, the last of which can be attributed mostly to warfare, sex tourism, and the missionary activity. Ethnic composition of the locals here are generally comprised of Thai, Teochew, Khmer, and Malay groups. A cultural pattern of historical preservation efforts through intricate architecture, artisanship, and fervent religious devotion is displayed by the locals with each generation. The original Emerald Buddha held a profound religious significance for our Thai people. From this, the temple was constructed in honor of its holiness and that of the king. Locals have formed attachments of symbolic significance to both the idol and its Wat over the centuries. The Wat has witnessed many historical events while housing the divine Emerald Buddha. The temple's ongoing maintenance and construction is a reflection of its unique cultural pattern shared by local adults and children alike. The imperial city of Hua in central Vietnam, built in 17th century, Hua is a relic of Vietnam's late feudal era under the reign of Nguyen dynasty, a complex of over 140 monuments comprised of 200-year-old structures. The site still stands strong after centuries of warfare. The site holds historical significance not only in terms of war and politics, but also as a place of religious and cultural value. Hua was constructed by over 30,000 laborers, the first fortress in Southeast Asia to exhibit European style. Its design is based in part in the ornate Vauban architectural model. It is comprised of straight edges, heavily armored brick structures, and a surrounding moat. The grounds encompass designated areas for celebration, worship, government offices, manufacturing, and royal tombs. A traditional Vietnamese rendition of the antiquated elemental philosophy of feng shui was thoroughly integrated into the design, accounting for the physical geography of the site throughout the process of architectural planning. The Dung Binh Mountains and the Perfume River served as an elemental grid by which the structures were built. This was seen as being composed of 4 cardinal directions in conjunction with their corresponding colors and elements. Protective stone dragons and tigers were placed in symbolic positions around the city. Primarily, the Hua dialect of Vietnamese is spoken here in addition to 64 other languages spoken by minorities throughout the region. Racially, Vietnam is mixed. Most people in this region identify themselves as King or Viet. Many also trace their roots to European racial groups, and this can be attributed to colonialism and missionary activity. Thai, Hmong, Dao, Khmer, and others make up the rest of the region's population. Local religious groups consist mostly of Buddhist, Hoa Hao, Tao Dai, Christians, and Muslims. Feng Shui is a cultural pattern still practiced in central Vietnamese architecture today as it was during the feudal era. Ancient examples like Hoa serve as a crucial reference both for modern architects and historians who learn much about the historical underpinnings of Feng Shui as well as Western influence in Southeast Asia during the 1800s. Both the form and function of the site have earned it such respect that it is devoutly maintained still, appreciated for its lasting beauty and the strength achieved through its combination of feng shui and enduring European facets. This cultural pattern of practicing and integrating the tradition of feng shui together with foreign influences is ongoing because feng shui continues to hold historic, practical, and beautiful significance through time in a globalizing world as